Hi students, good morning. How are you all? Hope everyone are fine. Okay, today we will discuss about the periodic classification. Okay, before going to the periodic classification of elements, we will discuss about history of periodic table of elements. How the elements are being arranged in the periodic table, according to which purpose, and who arranged this periodic table into that. Is there only one person or else so many number of persons worked behind it? And finally, how we got that table of arrangement? Maybe we can arrange all these elements in another ways also. Am I right? Suppose actually why this classification is needed, children, actually we have arranged all the elements. Of course, instead of arranging in a particular other way as the table of elements, why can't we decide our own way to keep them? Let us see. See children, this is our periodic table exactly how it has been arranged, right? There is a brief history behind this periodic table of arrangement. And tell me one thing, that why the classification is needed exactly. If we see in our home also, we used to arrange our household items and some of the things in the hall and some of the things in the kitchen and some of the things in the bedrooms and some of the things in the washrooms, like that, isn't it? And why can't we keep all the elements together, all the objects together itself? Because to take a particular thing whenever it is needed. See, suppose if I kept the chili powder in the bedroom, is it useful there or what? Not required, right? So that's what. While we are cooking, all the cooking materials will be there in the kitchen. And while we are watching the TV, whatever the TV or else in the living room, we are going to keep our sofas, chairs, and everything, isn't it? So that means a particular cause is there to keep all the things in a particular way. And suppose if we go to a medical shop, how if we ask for any medicine or something, how they are going to give us? They will take one box, they will see the slip, and they will search in some of the computer or something. Okay, I found it, it is there. Okay, and then they used to get it from there easily they used to pick up. Out of those many number of medicines, they easily picked up, means they have arranged. Maybe in some of the places, in some of the medical shops, you have seen that some of the alphabets has been written on the boxes, which is going to present towards us even, isn't it? That means to identify a particular thing easily, these all the elements has been arranged in such a way, isn't it? The same thing here also. In our periodic table, there are totally 118 elements are there. Am I right? Up till now, still more the working there is work going on to find out other elements too. And these all 118 elements are being arranged in a proper way. And how come this will be in this way only? Why can't simply like 118, in the sense normal table also, we used to draw normal table, serial number and the name of the element. In that way also, why can't we write? What is the use of arranging in this way? Okay, here this periodic table has been arranged according to their properties, by looking at the periodic table and by looking at the column or the row which has been arranged, we can easily pick up a element with the physical and chemical properties of it easily. So in this way it has been arranged. Then that means, you suppose, that means while we are looking at simply about the periodic table, if we can say the physical and chemical properties approximately of a particular element, in the sense it is quite a surprising thing, right? So there is a lot of hard work behind this periodic table, children. So let us see what the hard work has been done by, and who are the scientists who worked hard behind this periodic table. Let us observe the next one. See here, it started with the person Thales. It started with the person Thales. He is a Greek philosopher. His time period is of 624 to 546 BC. Okay, and while he is going to say about the elements, he said that all matter in the universe is made up of just one type of substance called water. That means whatever the element it is, whatever the element is, all the elements belong to water itself, he said. All the elements just belong to water itself. How come it be possible, children? If all the elements will be belongs to water, then how are we going to decide the process like botanical? Botanical processes are there, and even physiological processes are there. Means whenever the if these are all, that means whatever the elements inside everyone, all are belongs to water itself. How come these all the different process can be explained, like meteorological, then geological? So these are all the things will be classified based on water itself. It's a quite a toughest task. So at that time, Thales could not able to explain it properly. So then a person, Empedocles, he came and he said that, of course, he is also a Greek philosopher. He said that there are four basic substances. There are four basic substances, that is water, air, earth, and fire. Along with the water, there are four different things like water, air, earth, and fire. That means whatever the elements has been introduced, whatever the elements has been discovered, those all the elements will be belong to either water or air or earth or fire. In this way, he said that all the elements will be arranged in these four categories. In these four categories. So, but if at all those all the categories, if all the elements can be classified in that way, so Plato came into picture and he said that okay, cool. While we are arranging those all the things, why can't we call them as with some name? Let's call them as elements. He said that, he said the name as elements. Okay, don't fight. Okay, whatever the things you have, that means whatever the particles you discover, whatever the elements you discover, so until then there is no name, whatever has been discovered. So it is a water particle, it is a air particle, it is a earth particle, it is a fire particle. In that way it used to be, so here in this, while the discussion is going on like this, then Plato came into picture. Of course, he is also a Greek philosopher. His time period is from 427 to 347 BC. Of course, he said that these we will arrange whatever the elements are there till now. Let us name them as elements. Of course, I am pronouncing that elements and elements itself. Those all the particles what we have discovered till now. Of course, whatever they belongs to, whatever they belongs to either water, air, earth and fire, whatever they belongs to, we just call them as elements. Okay, and then at the time of Aristotle, Aristotle said that okay, water is having a different characteristic. What is that? Water is cold and wet. Okay, see here children, until here no one talked about the properties of it. Aristotle came into picture. Of course, he is also a Greek philosopher, right? Okay, maybe you are thinking that ma'am, everyone are Greek philosophers only. Why so? Because the classification idea started in Greece, and it is started with Greek philosopher. At that time, at the time of Aristotle, of course, until then 13 elements has been discovered until then. Okay, and how to arrange those 13 elements? Okay, some belongs to water, some belongs to air, some belongs to earth, and some belongs to fire. In this way, we can arrange until the Plato, it is said that. Now, Aristotle came into picture. How can we say that water is cold and wet? Of course, the property of the water is cold and wet. And now, air is having a different property, that hot and wet. Of course, air will be hot even, right? Not only cool. Air will be hot and even wet. Now, coming to the earth now. Water and air properties here he told. And coming to the earth, earth is cold and dry. It is not wet. Earth is cold and dry. Maybe you are thinking that, ma'am, earth becomes even hot also, and air becomes even cool also, and water becomes even hot also. That means I'm telling about the general characteristic of the matter. Okay, in general it will be how water without heating it, it will be cold enough, and air while we are not talking about the rainy season or something, in normal condition it will be normal hot. Okay, and earth almost most probably in the cold condition, whenever it is exposed to the sun, then only it will be hot, cold, I'm sorry, hot. Okay, that's what the general characteristics I'm telling you. Earth is cold and dry in condition. Now coming to the fire, of course, fire in the sense it will be hot. Okay, okay, so hot and dry. See here, there are some similar characteristics, but not some. See here, water is cold, earth is cold, of course, but water is wet and earth is dry. And air is hot and fire is hot, but air is wet and fire is dry. So, by having these types of things, suppose any object has been discovered that it is like only cold element is there. There is no sometimes it used to be wet and sometimes it used to be dry. So where this element will be classified into. So how are we going to decide it further? Okay. Okay then, see here, he said that suppose if we arrange these all the four elements in this particular way, that means wet elements will be either hot or cold and dry elements will be either hot or cold. You understood, right? That means how can we arrange these elements? Suppose the wet conditions. What are the two wet conditions over here? Water and air are the wet conditions. Okay, wet condition elements. Now coming to the dry conditioned elements, fire, earth and fire. And in earth and fire, which one will be cold? So in the cold and dry box, there should be earth. And in the wet and hot box, air should be there. And in the wet and cold box, water will be there. And in the dry and hot box, fire should be there. So in this way, he has arranged, Aristotle has been arranged these all the things. These all the elements, it has been arranged in this way. Now he used to explain that, of course, these two belongs to, that means either hot or cold, the air and water both are wet itself. Both are wet itself. If you observe, both are under the condition of wet. Either those are hot or cold. The wet elements can be categorized into two groups, that either hot or cold. We can arrange in this way. Suppose if at all hot elements are there, hot elements may be wet or dry. Hot elements may be wet or dry. In the similar manner, cold elements may be wet or dry, and then dry elements may be hot or cold. Like this, suppose these instead of having a longer classification, that is a four boxes, and under that the four elements, if we keep these all the arrangements in this way, it will be good. This is a suggestion given by the Aristotle. Okay, and at the time only 13 elements are being discovered, so there is no problem at all. Most probably whatever the elements has been discovered, they have been classified on the basis of this wet, dry, hot and cold conditions, what is said by Aristotle. Until here this is okay, but is it stopped with only 13 elements, children? No, not yet, right? So it has been still more discovered with some more elements like 30 elements, afterwards 56 elements, afterwards 63 elements. After that, now it is reached to 118 elements, isn't it? So let us observe another person came into picture. Now he is our modern chemistry's father. That means father of modern chemistry. Who is said that? Anthony Lavoisier. So he started talking about is if it decomposes, then it is not an element at all, isn't it? Means they said that these are all the elements, right? Water, air, fire, and then sky. That means air, water, air, earth, and fire. These are all the 4 elements they said. Under these 4 categories, we are going to keep all the elements. He said that suppose if at all already before the Anthony Lavoisier, John Dalton came into picture. You remember that 1800s law. In 1803, he given that Dalton proposed some of the postulates also. Okay, I'm sorry, not 1800. It is 1693. Okay, so in 1690s, 90s, he told about, Dalton said about all the matter, whatever the matter is made up of, with the tiny particles called atoms. Atom is indivisible particle of matter. So based on that, if it decomposes, that means whatever the element you are taking, if that decomposes, it cannot be an element at all. Is it an element if it decomposes? No, not possible. So he said that let us take water now. Let us take water, and he started experimenting on water. So water, how are we going to write down water? H2O. Now this water has been passed through some of the gases. This water has been passed through some of the gases, and then the water has been decomposed into two more elements. Two more elements. What are those two more elements? Oxygen and hydrogen. Oxygen and hydrogen. And still more, he did not stop his experiments. Of course, I got the elements as oxygen and hydrogen, so he did not stop the experiment. He continued his experiment that oxygen, let us try to separate the oxygen element and then hydrogen element. It is not possible. Oxygen cannot be divided further, and then hydrogen also cannot be divided further. So that's what that means. If we break it, it will be like atoms. So he is not talking about that atoms. That group of atoms once considered as elements. Means individual oxygen and hydrogen is not possible for us, right? That's what these are, the diatomic molecules. So oxygen, we are going, are we going to decompose further? No, not yet. So that's what these are elements. These are elements, he said. Means water can be decomposable, so we cannot consider that category of water, okay, as element. And afterwards, he started experimenting on the rest of the 3 also. So see here, it can be physically separated, then it is not an element. Suppose if anything can be physically separated, if it decomposes, that means chemical decomposition. Okay, chemically decomposed, in the sense it is not an element. Even physically it can be separable, that means separated. So that also it is not an element at all. Suppose in the earth there will be lot of elements will be occurred, so in the earth layers, so those will be physically separable, right? So that's what that is not an element. We can easily decide it. And afterwards he started experimenting on what it is, air. Okay, in the air there are lot of gases present in the air. There are lot of gases present in the air. Am I right or not? Of course. So in this air, he started experimenting on the air. Okay, in the air, only one element is there, or else number of elements are there, or what? Number of elements are there or not? Let us see. So here, whenever he started experimenting, he observed that, okay, here oxygen, nitrogen, there is a lot of elements. First of all he noticed most probably oxygen and nitrogen, and he started decomposing this again, but he did not able to decompose it further. So that means air has been decomposed into oxygen and nitrogen. That means, of course, now this air is also not an element at all. Am I right? So, after finding out all these elements, he started experimenting on still more, children. He started experimenting still more. Okay, I found from water oxygen and hydrogen, and in the air also oxygen and nitrogen is present. How come this be if the same one element has been given in two things? Like suppose according to the arrangement of the Aristotle, that is water, air classification has been done as wet and dry. Here, the same element occurred in both the things. Like water, or what in water oxygen is there, and in air also oxygen is there. How are we going to arrange this oxygen in two different categories, children? It is quite surprising. Okay, then that classification is wrong then. That classification has been broken up now. Means actually Aristotle broken that element, that classification of this Greece of Plato, whatever he said about the elements, and then before that Thales and uh, Endocles, he also said that one of the classification, and that has been broken by Aristotle exactly. And Aristotle's classification has 4 boxes, you saw, right? And those 4 boxes classification also has been broken up now. Now he started experimenting. Okay, that means there are so many number of elements which are been more than one group. That means more than one category. So he started experimenting most of them, and he found there are so many elements. You can see over here. They are like, okay, read along with me: antimony, bismuth, tungsten, iron, arsenic, gold, phosphorus, silver, molybdenum, copper, mercury, nickel, manganese, hydrogen, platinum, lead, oxygen, carbon, tin, zinc. Okay, whatever the elements I have given over here, approximately of 20 elements, right? So at the time of the classification after the Lavoisier, it is of approximately of 20 to 23 elements are been given. Afterwards, it reached 30, then up to 56, and then that means immediately all the 26 elements has been not discovered. Whenever the classification has been going to change, at that time, actually we used to have only these are the things like 13 elements. Whenever there are 13 on there are only 13 elements, the law of triads came into picture. Afterwards, the still more 20 to 23 elements, the law of octaves has been came into picture. And until the law of octaves period, there is no invention of the inert gases on something. So then afterwards, a genius called Mendeleev came into picture, and he is actually the founder of our periodic table exactly. Okay, and then after Mendeleev, he got wrong only one at one place. So the modern periodic table completely done by, that means actual work done by Mendeleev, and final credit, that means the modern periodic table credit goes to Moseley. Okay, however, he just changed a simple statement, and but this arrangement idea is done by Mendeleev, and he worked a lot for years and years. So that's what why we call him as a genius, because his hard work. Means if you do hard work for any particular thing, you will get the success at it, definitely. So definitely you will be called as a genius too. Okay, should be get inspired, children, get inspired by our scientists, and by inspiration from the scientist in the self, not only to become scientist, children, to get, that means to know about any particular thing and to get whatever we want, we should stick to our conditions. Okay, children. So in the next lesson, we will discuss about all these things. Okay, after the Lavoisier, how many elements has been discovered and how these elements has been classified, and what are the drawbacks of those classifications, and finally how come our modern periodic table comes into picture. Okay, children, thank you so much. Take care. Bye.